Oh my god. We got some really bad news. He's actually withdrawing one of the offers for one candidate. They want to make an offer for 2 people. If we can make one of these happen, I'd be very, very happy. Happy Monday and welcome to another video where I take you behind the scenes of what I do every single week as a recruiter at my own recruiting agency. Had a wonderful weekend where I spent time with family, ate a lot, recharged, and I'm coming into this new week well rested. This week we are picking up 2 brand new roles, a head of people and a firmware hardware engineer position. We'll give you more details once those are actually finalized. It is 4 p.m. on Monday. Really spent my whole day heads down, focused on sourcing for engineering, product managers, as well as marketing. We had about 3 interviews today, heard back from 2 of them that they went really well so far, which is absolutely fantastic. One of them is still pending, but I have a pretty good feeling it went well as well. We have almost 17 interviews scheduled already, and I would expect that to be significantly more by tomorrow and Wednesday. Product designer is still moving forward, still waiting on our CMO candidate. This could potentially be my largest deal ever. If anything happens, we will hear back. It could be any second, any minute of today or this week. So we'll definitely keep you posted. I'm excited to kind of make this an awesome week, and it should be a pretty fun week talking to a lot of great candidates, a lot of great new companies, old companies as well, and seeing what sort of obstacles and fun experiences and scenarios that we're gonna tackle to this week. If you're as excited as I am and you're also crushing Q4 and you had a wonderful summer and you can't wait to end this year off well, please don't forget to like, subscribe, click that bell. Really means a lot and really gives us the energy to work at peak performance every day and make it the best week that we can. Make sure you watch to the end so you can see what will actually happen this week. Let's see and get started. Oh my gosh. So I got some insane news to share with you. So I just heard back from the founder of the e-commerce client. I've been texting him, following up with him since last week about the CMO offer. And we just heard back literally not even a couple minutes ago that the candidate returned the offer letter signed. Oh my God. If you're watching this for the first time and you want some context, this, as I was talking about in the last video and even earlier in this video, I was nail biting, sitting at the edge of my seat, waiting to hear about this offer, because if this happened, it would have been the biggest offer of my life in terms of seniority of the position and potential commission based on just the salary alone. And we just finally got the official confirmation that the candidate signed. She took longer than expected, but with good reason, because it's this very senior position that she was really doing her due diligence, digging super deep with the founders and team members, really interrogating and questioning them until she felt confident enough about the future of the company. And then she ultimately put ink on paper, and it's done deal with a confirmed start date of October 18th. This is the most senior level position. This is my first ever C-suite position, CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, and this could also be our biggest, my personal record in terms of the biggest commission to date. If you want to know exactly how much it is, make sure you watch to the end of the video once we confirm on the final numbers today and this week. But it's just insane and just honestly goes to show what can happen if you just show up every day, put in the work, and just do the best that you can, because consistent good work will compound into amazing results. And this is absolutely insane, because as I was saying in previous videos, and if you've been watching for a while, a year ago today, I didn't even know if I would still be in business. So everyone stopped hiring, companies went out of business, and being a small business owner, it was extremely stressful. Not to mention other aspects of my personal life. I moved to a new state, and we're also battling personal and health situations as well. It was incredibly stressful, but I just made it a promise to myself to just show up and do the best that I can every single day. And sometimes when your back is against the wall, when you feel feel like you don't have nowhere to go and all you want to do is go underneath the blankets and give up, you just keep moving forward and show up and go on the offense, and knowing that if you can take care of the business eventually will take care of you. And I would have no imagination that a year ago today, I would be where I am today. The business is doing as well as it is today, not to mention just doing our biggest deal to date. This is one of my favorite places in DC. It's called The Wharf. Got the water, you got boats, apartment buildings, hotels, music venue, and tons of bars and restaurants. And then on the other side, you have brand new developments, office spaces, condos, building out new wharfs in the water. But man, it doesn't matter if you're having a long day or exhausted, it is worth it to come out here, soak up some sun, and feel energized. Oof. What a crazy day. Can't believe I just did my biggest deal of my entire career. I'm so tired. If you're working for yourself, you're at a job, you're freelancing, doesn't matter if you feel stuck or sometimes you feel like you're gonna give up. Just keep at it, stay consistent, keep providing value, and I promise you, good results over time will always yield amazing, amazing results. If I can do it, anyone can do it. This position was so important for them. I've been working with this team on this position for over a year. I have had a couple close calls. I also ended up trying to use other resources and other agencies. They also had close calls with other agencies. They had close calls with their internal network, and then we re-engaged with them, had a couple more close calls, and we found this person, don't know how, and this person just flew through the end and just made it happen. Oh gosh, I'm just speechless. This is absolutely insane. So congrats to the team, congrats to my client, congrats to my candidate. And this was a very, very tricky position. Not the easiest because the candidate and I did not have close communication till the end, but she had a really strong direct line of communication with the client, which is all that mattered. And sometimes depending on the companies or clients you're working with, what you can be hands-on or you can play more of a secondary role. As long as things are moving forward and you can help whenever you can and be on top of it as best as you can, then that's all you can hope for. And that's exactly what happened here. So huge Monday. I'm pumped. Gonna finish off a couple emails, maybe source a little more engineers, and then shoot one YouTube video to call it a day. But oh my God, biggest deal of my career. Really excited to have done this with you all. Oh my God, it is almost 9:30 p.m. on Monday and just finished editing 2 YouTube videos, posting YouTube video and posting an Instagram story. Outside of my work, I try my best to stay consistent with media. As you know, we've made a decision earlier this year to really invest and have fun making fun content across Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Not only is it a great creative outlet, but it's also, I think, a great tool that recruiters can use, as well as many other businesses and other industries, to be able to interact with a community, future leads, customers, and just people that have some interest in recruiting or technology or hiring. And so far, it's just been absolute blast. It's a lot of work, but it's also something that we're making it a priority. And I also just love it. It's a great creative outlet outside of just the daily, weekly doldrum of just sourcing and negotiating and just recruiting life. So even though I do have to make time outside of work and sometimes it's late in the evenings, we just have to do our best to just make it done and stay consistent. And so far, just really, really happy and really love the people that reached out to us and are joining our community across all platforms, and the people that gave great advice and encouragement and just positive energy. I really appreciate you all and thank you so much. And it really inspires us to keep making content and really give us energy to still make fun things for you all, even as late as it is. So I don't normally work this late, but I also love to pack and do the most work I can beginning of the week, so that as we go through the week, I can slowly start tapering off and relaxing a little bit more towards the weekend. And by doing all the big things done early in the week, you don't have to worry about or think about doing it later in the week. So I'm really, really gonna call it quits for today. I think it's enough. Just looking at my calendar, we got it crazy. Next 4 days ahead for this week. So just really, really happy that I was able to get these done on our media initiatives. Just make sure our media and recruiting initiatives are still progressing forward in tandem. So gonna have a good night, gonna relax, and see you in the morning. All right, good afternoon. It is Tuesday, 5 p.m. Just wanted to come on and give you a quick update. So far today, we had about 9 candidate calls. Submitted a majority of them as they were fantastic for the product managers, engineering, and even digital marketing positions. We had 2 interviews that happened, the mobile engineer, as well as assistant engineer, and both of them sounded pretty positive. So really keeping my fingers crossed on those. We still have 3 more interviews that are gonna happen. We got 2 engineers and 1 product manager, fingers crossed. 2 interesting updates though. Number 1, a client approached us and told us that they need help hiring a financial associate as well as HR and PR, but then they further included in that email that they tried to use all the typical standard resources that a company would use to hire folks, LinkedIn, Indeed, Monster, but they were not really happy with the responses. And I just found that really interesting. I just wanted to spend a couple of moments just to kind of share my thoughts on that. I still think there's a place and time for all of these job boards. I think if you're looking for a little bit more junior or maybe non-technical roles, these job boards and job sites can still be an effective tool. But if you're looking for very technical, more experienced folks, I find, and I still believe, and I'm not trying to be biased, is you have to use a really good headhunter or recruiter to help you, especially for experienced technical folks, because number 1, the really good folks that you're going to be looking for are not necessarily cold applying through job descriptions and through job ads, and number 2, if they are applying, they're applying through the network, or they're not even applying at all. They're more passive looking and require more of a direct outreach that only good recruiters can do when they understand what you're looking for. Again, I have nothing against job boards, but I think when you're a hiring manager, when you're a CEO, when you're a founder, if you're utilizing these services, what typically happens is as soon as you click publish, you get a deluge, just a flood of all these resumes, and a lot of them are just not relevant at all, which will be spending your time going through all of these irrelevant resumes and hoping to find that the diamond in the rough when you could be spending, other times to be focused on your other more important work, running your team, growing your business, doing other more important responsibilities, because at the end of the day, you're not an HR person, you are a founder. Whereas the biggest benefit here of working with a recruiter is you get your time back, that you can focus on what you have to do, and then assuming the recruiter is good, the cohort of talent that you get from them will be qualified and they would be more aligned with what you're looking for in terms of the target background, saving you just a ton of time so that hopefully you can find folks that you like off the bat, and then you can immediately start interviewing instead of just wasting all this time screening irrelevant people or screening irrelevant resumes or talking to people with not the best background that's aligned with what you're looking for. So this company tried that, but then they realized they're just spending too much time and money on sources that aren't working, and they need to come to us and help us to kind of get the job done. And number 2, we've just synced up with another one of our clients who worked with before, a really awesome startup in the dental space that's looking for a head of people. Just had a phenomenal chat with him. The founder and the team are growing. Last time I spoke to them, they had about 40 people. Now they have 65, led by tier 1 VCs, fully remote, but ideal in New York City. So going to probably hit that today, and then real quick, maybe shoot a YouTube video a little bit later after that. And it's only Tuesday, and we still got tons of interviews and calls to do the rest of the week, but so far, huge momentum. Everything's going well as planned. Looking forward to a good Wednesday tomorrow. Oh my God, crazy updates. So remember I told you that I was working with this clean tech startup and we're doing our best to help them find chemical engineers, propulsion, thermal engineers. Anyway, they had their first couple interviews with the first couple people, and I just heard back from the founder that they want to make an offer for 2 people, which is absolutely insane because I've never had an offer for chemical engineers before in my life. Just goes to show that if you know what you're doing, you can efficiently recruit theoretically any position. But anyway, there is a red flag though. In the beginning, they told me that they were willing to make this remote or come up with some sort of local accommodations. However, they decided that they want this person to reload to New York. So even though it's amazing news that they want to talk to 2 engineers, I don't think either of these engineers are gonna be okay to uproot their life and their families all the way to New York City. Both of them were kind of open to the idea, but they strongly preferred remote or local. So I'm not sure if we can kind of make this happen here. Just really happy and pleasantly surprised we made it to offer rounds already. That was super fast. I think they only had 2 conversations for each candidate. So what I'm thinking is I need to talk to the founder real quick to see exactly like what we can do here. What does reload mean? What does reload assistance mean? How high can they go on salary? Because if they're moving to New York, they would want New York City salaries. In the beginning, they told me they were flexible. So I need to know exactly exactly what that means to see if we can make this happen for our candidates. I think the whole thing with him though, he's open to the possibility of relo. I know when I first spoke with him, he kind of preferred more remote or even local. Is that even a possibility still, or are you only really kind of staying firm on relo?
Relo should be the case because he can spend maybe like 3 days or 2 days here in the lab. However, even in that case, he can travel every week. So.
And then if you want someone relo, like can they relo, like, you know, what's their timeline? Do you want them to relo immediately? Or if he's moving his whole family to New York from Colorado, that takes a lot of timing and planning, right?
I know. Of course, we want them like as soon as possible to be here, if that could be the case. But if that's not possible, like maybe 2 months, 3 months will be fine.
Okay, and you're willing to obviously help with relo assistance and expenses.
Exactly. Yeah.
Moving to New York, he's going to have to be the sole income earner, supporting his family in obviously a city with a very much higher standard of living than Denver. So he told me frankly, like if that's the case, he's not opposed to it, but he would probably be looking for a lot more in terms of salary, a loss of income from his wife and moving to New York. I mean, he said most likely he'll probably be ideally looking for like 170 or something or higher. I think the more competitive salary that we can, I think the likelihood of them saying yes is much higher.
If that's the case, I mean 170 is fine. You can go back with 170.
Would you be able? So is 170 like a max ceiling for you, or would you be able to go higher?
170 will be more less than.
I just talked to the founder, had a really good chat. It seems like he is pretty firm about having someone relo to New York, which is going to make it a lot more difficult for us to find the right people because a lot of the people we spoke to so far are not open to relo. But he is open to paying a premium and helping with relo through any assistance on the expenses or even a sign-on bonus. Knowing my candidate, for him to move to New York, he has a child. His wife's gonna have to give up her job, so he's probably gonna have to ask for a lot more. But just the fact that, again, the founder is accommodating here, hopefully, you know, could be a contender. So we'll see what happens. I think I was able to briefly hear back from my candidate earlier. He's super positive. Just a lot to think about whether or not, you know, his family is open and willing to actually move from Colorado to New York City, which is a huge difference. Even though that it's not going to be 5 days in the office in New York, it's only about 3 days, but there's a lot to think about. And if you have a partner or kids, that's just way more logistics to kind of take into account. So I think this is going to be really difficult. We are waiting to hear back from one other candidate, hoping that he's more open and in an easier situation to move to New York City, but we'll see what happens. I mean, working with, you know, surprising offers, I'll take it, but also very nerve-wracking and stressful to figure out the logistics and planning and the finer details, but let's keep going. Just taking a little break. As exciting as it looks, you know, doing these deals, making money and talking to candidates and clients, it could be a lot. And my stress level is like here. And I'm blessed and humbled to be in a situation where we have amazing companies coming to us and asking us for help. And I hate to say no, and I want to do the best that we can. But, you know, if you get consumed with work and keep saying yes to everything, it can consume you. And I just want to share this with you because whether you're working just by yourself as a recruiter or you have a small team of recruiting, this is what it looks like. Even if you're not recruiting, if you're freelancing, contracting, it's super important to also take care of yourself and manage your time. I've been doing this for about almost 7 years now, working for myself, whether it's working for myself for several years or just managing a small team. And I'm just hands-on and been hands-on. And the hardest thing for me was being able to understand when to shut off and when to protect myself and my sanity. And over the years, I was not good at it. There have been many times where I burned out, where I'm like, you know what, I can't do this anymore, or I'm just detached, just fatigued, and I just couldn't work. And I think I'm a lot better right now. There are certain things where I instituted in my day-to-day, my week-by-week, to help make sure my mental health is very strong, and that after a certain time of the day, I shut off and don't check my phone. But it got to a point where, you know, it was super stressful 24/7, and I would work all day, I would work all night. And even when I traveled, I would still be stressed out checking my phone. And I realized that while on paper, business or work will be good, and we're also doing well financially with all these great commissions, I had to stop myself and look back and be like, at what cost? And when you get older, when you work on something, it's not so much about how much money you can make quickly, but how sustainable you can make it long term, and how successful you can still be, and how consistently you can be successful long term, and hit your targets, but also at the same time taking care of yourself, making sure you're okay, staying healthy, and giving the time to other things that are important in your life, whether it's partnerships, family, other hobbies or interests. But I gotta say, never expected this year to be this busy. Recruiting is very, very busy just from the nature of its work. And if you're working with many clients, many different positions, a lot of it can get overwhelming. So being able to stay on top of your time, being able to give yourself 5-10 minutes during the day just to think and decompress is super, super important. Even though I've shown in previous videos, I don't have lunch, I work sometimes late at night, I try my best not to do that all the time. In the beginning, when you're young and all you do is focus on work, it's easy to overlook important aspects like that. But now it's important for me to make some time midday to eat lunch, to decompress in the evenings, because the longer I do this, the more important it is for me to do it in a way that's sustainable, that would still allow me to perform in a peak fashion, to give the best value to my clients, but at the same time also make sure I have the energy and time for my loved ones, for other projects, or for other things in my life. So just wanted to show that yes, I do make an effort just to take breaks, whether it's a quick glass of water, whether it's mealtime, whether it's taking for walks. That's really, really important. It's not so much about how much money you can make short term. It's all about, you know, how long you can continue to do it long term and still be around, make it sustainable, and have a good rhythm and good routine where you can succeed in all aspects of your life. So right now, as you heard, just got 2 potential offers. So I'm dealing with that, and I'm sourcing, spent the whole morning sourcing on how to people role. Gonna be hitting product and engineering a little bit later today. Got 3-4 more calls, and I think 4 or 5 more interviews that are happening, and it's only Wednesday. So, woo! Crazy. Felt a little overwhelmed earlier, but you know, just trying to just decompress and take it easy right now. Pour myself a glass of water, think and focus on what I'm gonna do a little bit later, and just get back at it. But don't forget to take care of yourself. Health and life is all you have. So while work can be great, you can find fulfillment, work doesn't have to be everything all the time. And just so whatever chaos you're going through that day or that week, just try to find small time in your day to just decompress, relax a little bit, and recharge. It's super important. If you're gonna finish this up, see you in a bit.
I mean, 3 days out of the week, I guess it's something that I could talk about. I don't know. I really honestly haven't. I would need to get alignment with my wife and so forth.
It was our understanding that they'd be more open to remote and obviously doing something local. But I think just over the course of this week, after several internal discussions, it seems like they would love for this person to reload to New York just to make it easier. They can obviously help with all the reload, but also, you know, if that means you would require like a higher salary, like that's definitely something that they can do. So, you know, it can definitely make sense financially, but
I would have to talk about it. But you're saying three days out of the week.
Even if you were to think about reload, they're not expecting to reload tomorrow. As long as you can make the move in like a couple months or something, like they're totally cool about that. They're not looking for you to kind of uproot your life tomorrow and move there. They can cover all expense paid. And again, like with salary, like if you're like, hey, Preston, I thought about it, I need like 180 or something, then we'll fight for you for 180. And that's definitely something that they can definitely consider. Spoke to the second chemical engineering candidate today. Same situation. When I first spoke with him, he was okay with remote or even doing something locally. He's in Tennessee. But now after making it clear that he would have to reload, that's definitely something him and his family have to think about. Again, crazy to have 2 potential offers. Very, very difficult to make, I think, either of these happen. And both of them have families. Both of them have lives and careers in Colorado and Tennessee respectively. So for them to uproot and move, even though it doesn't have to be a sudden move, would be pretty crazy. So if we can make one of these happen, I'd be very, very happy. If we can somehow pull both these and guide a smooth close for both these, like that would be insane. Ideal person would be willing to relocate, but in terms of timeline, they're flexible. It doesn't have to be like a tomorrow thing. If you need or want to take a couple of several months to move, like that's totally cool for them. He totally understands that if someone like you in your situation needs to move out of state to New York and would require obviously more salary to kind of make that transition easier, and knowing that you're obviously going to be the sole income earner in your family, like he's totally open to understand and be flexible on that too. So they know that they'll be talking to people outside of New York, and they definitely want to do whatever they can to kind of make that happen. And if this is something that makes sense for you, like they want to make the move as easy for you as possible and just help you along every step of the way.
And there would be, also cost of living in New York, and then on one salary. We don't know what to do or like how to think about it. Yeah, I think I need to talk to my wife. Basically, we need to put more concrete thought into it, or more like numbers to it.
I just played a lot of different scenarios with him that, if he's looking for initially 120 in Colorado, what is he looking for? What would he look for in New York? And he was sharing with me that if they moved to New York, his wife would have to give up her job, so he'd be the only income. So because of that, he would want something higher. I'm like, yeah, I think this company can definitely pay, but what does that number look like? He threw out 170, but then I told him, hey, just spend a couple of days, crunch some numbers, and see, what the number is. And then we'll do whatever we can to kind of get that for you, or maybe a little bit more. Moving out of state, always a big decision. Even getting a new job is a big decision, but doing it where you have to physically move, not just yourself, but your family, there's a lot that goes into it. And I was kind of sharing with him the basics of just how technology and startups work, that if he comes in after the A round, he'll get significant upside equity. He doesn't really have too much of a tech background, so I just kind of share with him that basically the earlier you join, it's more risky, but you get the more upside if anything happens to the company. And not to mention that even though they're an A, they can still pay very competitive and be very, very flexible, because many companies seed or Series A still will be coming at market or even typically below market. So with this company, they're willing to go above and beyond to find their best person, which is really the main reason why he's kind of considering this opportunity. But I really pushed him to come back to me what his real number would be, and for us to do what we can, that if he chooses to move his family, what that look like and what he would need to make that happen. I also told him that you don't have to look at this new job as a forever thing. I mean, it'd be great for you to move to New York. You can get settled there with your family. You can work at this company long term. But if you really want to come back to Ohio, where his other family is, or Colorado, he can do that. He can have a 5-year plan. He can have a 10-year plan. He can have a 3-year plan. But I told them, how the typical vesting schedule works with equity, which is on a typical 4-year timeline. If he chooses to kind of go there, move to New York with the family, stick it out for 2-3 years, vest whatever equity he can still walk away with a lion's share of his equity. And if anything happens, then hey, it's a cherry on top, and he can enjoy the fruits of making that decision to join this company early. So I think he sounded very positive. He sounded open-minded enough to have another discussion with the founder early next week. And I told him just to think it over, and I'm available from now until the weekend or Monday to help him out whenever he can. So again, it's going to be really, really difficult. I think what's going to happen is the company needs to come out super strong on the salary. Candidate mentioned 170, but I think to get this job done, we're going to have to look somewhere between 170 and 200 just to give him an offer too good to say no, because his wife's giving up a job and they have kids and they're coming from Colorado. So, oh man, I'm going to try my best here and hope for the best. It's great that he's positive, the founder's positive. My job to just bring them together, make it happen. So we'll see. All right, it's almost 10 p.m. at night. Just did an Instagram post, just did a YouTube post, just edited another YouTube video, and now finally calling it a night. Exhausted. See you tomorrow. Had to step out this morning to run some few errands and getting a quick late breakfast, early lunch at District Tacos. This is their fish taco on a corn tortilla. Looks amazing. And also got a breakfast burrito to fuel myself up. I'm gonna eat these up, get back home, and finish up the day. At the end of the day, like the team they really, really like you a lot. They want to give you time to kind of process and think about relo. I think the good news for you is that you're not too far from New York. We can obviously make it make more sense with all the other terms like salary and everything like that. So I know that he really enjoyed chatting with you, and he's hoping that, he can make things work with you. And my job is just to make sure that, we can make it make a smooth transition. And oh man, it is Thursday morning. morning. It's 9:44 and just been doing calls after calls. So as you know, I had 2 potential offers from this clean tech company. Just heard this morning that he's actually withdrawing one of the offers for one candidate because he talked to the tech team yesterday and it seemed like he didn't do that well, which is not that good. I just got the phone with the first chemical engineer he interviewed, and she's from Pennsylvania, and he liked her a lot. But then as I'm battling the same relocation issues, the same thing applies to her. Thankfully, she's not thinking about relocating from somewhere far, like California or Colorado or Texas. She's in Pennsylvania, so it's doable. She's in like the greater New York area. She's interested. We can definitely fight for a higher salary, which will help her decision. And the good news here is that she doesn't have to be in the office 5 days a week. It's only 3 days. So she's like, do I get an apartment in New York? Do I stay at Airbnbs? Do I stay at hotels? If I do that, what does it look like? How much will it be? So she's doing a lot of number crunching. When I first spoke to her, she said that, she'd be looking for at least 150 or higher. That's assuming she can stay remote or work out of Pennsylvania. I would imagine this would be a lot higher if she's looking to commute now that she has to, have a lot of money saved for cars or transportation or for hotels. So, oh my God, I just wish that the founder did not change his mind like this, but I guess it happens. It's still okay. I think I can save hopefully one of these and still worth fighting for as it's a high salary. So we'll see what we can do, but this Thursday is going to be absolutely insane. Stress level here, but going to try to decompress, relax, try to get through the day. Happy midday Thursday. Just wanted to give you a quick update. Synced up with one of our favorite financial tech clients that we've been engaged with, looking for product analysts and product managers for a long time. Synced up with the hiring manager to really just audit the flow of the lead product manager. We've honestly been having a really, really tough time, but for obvious reasons. Number one, the salary is below market. Number two, they're not open to fully remote. They really want us to stay with the East Coast and Midwest, which unfortunately is having us not be able to reach out to a whole bunch of amazing people on the West Coast. And number three, their process is really, really long, and they're using this case study that seems to turn off a lot of people. So for all those reasons, we've done a great job in finding people, but people have been falling off after the case study. They tried tweaking the case study through our recommendation. That seemed to help some people, but I think, the fact that they're calling it a lead or even a junior director, and they're not being able to pay anywhere close to that is really turning a lot of people off. So what we decided this time around, and we've been trying to work this position for a couple months now, which is a long time, is we decided that instead of calling it a lead or a junior director, we're gonna actually drop it down and target more mid-level to senior PMs that can grow into the junior director and leads. Because they're more junior, they'll be asking for a little bit less expensive salary compared to lead or junior directors, which will fall well within the band for this company. Because they're also more junior, they'd also be more willing to do things like case studies. Typically, the more senior and more experienced you are, the more turned off you get for asking to do all these assignments or case studies throughout the process, if at the end of the day, it's with a job that can't even pay what you're looking for ideally. So I'm hoping that with this new adjustment, we can find good people. We've also been looking for product analysts. The ideal background are investment bankers coming out of top 4 big banks with at least 1 to 4 years of professional experience in any IB division. That has been going very, very well. It was our understanding initially they only wanted to hire 1, but then after this discussion, it looks like they want to hire 4 or 5 analysts in general, which is amazing. And instead of just targeting investment bankers, they also want us to target the top 4 consulting shops as well, just to kind of get a good, well-rounded team. On top of that, he introduced me, the hiring manager, to his colleague, the UX manager. I just got off a Zoom chat with her, really great person, great background, and she needs help looking for a product designer, a UX, UI, end-to-end designer. And the purpose of this colleague, again, is to really go into her mind, understand what the ideal profile and background will look like. We were able to carve it out that the first initial passes, we're gonna go after someone with at least probably 2-3 years of experience, maybe up to 5 or 6, junior to mid-level, flexible on whether they worked on enterprise B2B products or even consumer-facing B2C products. If they obviously have tech or startup background, that's ideal. And we're gonna be targeting the East Coast and Midwest here as well. The salary is more aligned with the market because they're looking for someone junior to mid. So I think that shouldn't be too much of an issue. They're fully remote, which is great. Great benefits, great. And the company has been doing very, very well. growing year after year and winning tons of awards. I'm excited to help them. I mean, the potential number of deals and commissions we can bring home have increased significantly, but up goes my stress as well. So just, looking forward to the rest of the week. I'm thinking of putting some time in the rest of today, trying to make as much impact I can for my new firmware, hardware engineer roles for a Boston company we just picked up. And then tomorrow before the weekend, gonna do 1 or 2 passes of product designers to see if we can kind of get the ball rolling, driving momentum into next week, hoping to get them a couple people at least to talk to by next Wednesday or Thursday. That'd be ideal, and off to the races. So I have 3 more calls. Oh shoot, I'm actually late for 1 call right now. It's 2 o'clock, gonna be here probably for another 3-4 more hours sourcing my butt off, and then looking forward to Friday. But yeah, as of right now, just being hyper focused on systematically hitting positions I need to hit, and then at the same time keeping myself sane, making myself have ample breaks throughout the day so I don't blow up in my mind and I can remain composed and calm and finish the week, which is the goal. So gonna do the best that I can. 3 more calls. Already had 2 interviews today that seem to have gone well. 1 more interview happening in an hour. Fingers crossed. I was able to hear back from them briefly that they were all really impressed by you. And
tell to them as well, like I didn't want time to think about only my salary situation, because going to a startup is a little bit tricky thing.
Oh my God. So I've been scrambling, trying to reach out to these thermochemical engineers and just try to see if any of them are okay relocating to New York City. I hate it when we operate under a certain criteria and then the company or founder changes their mind. If this is gonna actually affect a lot of candidates, because a lot of the ideal thermo propulsion system chemical engineers are not in New York City. And a lot of them don't wanna relocate to New York. So I have to basically contact all of the engineers again, especially the ones that already interviewed, especially the ones that the company likes, and try to salvage the situation, re-pitch them, re-energize them at the opportunity, and provide assurances or provide more information that the relocating, could be possible. Companies willing to help them with relocation. They could potentially get a higher salary. Thankfully, New York City has a really robust subway system. So whether they live in Brooklyn, Manhattan, New Jersey, it's easy to commute to the city, and just so many things to think about. But this is gonna be now a lot harder than I thought. And we've already lost, I think, 2 engineers because they're just not willing to relocate. Oh my God, I just hope that we can at least find 1 person here. I came into this very optimistic, but now I'm like, oh man, this is hitting me in the face. Yeah, that's the situation. I think this guy, when I spoke to him, he was open to relo. I'm just reconfirming, re-energizing. Not just that, our client is a small company, so everyone thinks this is risky, and that's totally valid. I'm trying to do what I can so that if they make the decision, it's as smooth and easy as possible. They can do it with the best salary terms, assurances that they can move and the company will help them, introducing them to anything that I know or my network in New York that can help them with the move if needed, and just really sharing with them the facts. Like, joining any early stage company is risky, but if you do your research and you start analyzing companies that do well, you start noticing patterns. Things like the founder experience, how far is the product, what is even the product, how far has the team scaled, and what are their goals. All that combined, this clean tech company is really checking off all the boxes. I can't predict the future. I don't know if this company will be the next unicorn, billion-dollar company, or they're gonna flop. But you just have to make your best judgment with the data at hand. And I'm saying this, trying to be as objective as possible compared to many other companies, same age and same background. There's no reason why this company can't do well. And they're not software too. They're in the clean energy sector as well. And they have an alternative fuel solution that has already been validated. It's not an idea. It's not some abstract construct. It's real. And that's why they've raised $20+ million this month. And that's why they're gonna triple their headcount by next year. So they have a lot going for them, but I just have to put out all these fires and try to re-energize, re-engage my candidates to get them across the finish line. So I'm staying on top of that, on top of everything else today. It's been insane, but got 2 more calls, 1 more interview. and we'll keep going. It's Thursday evening, around 7 o'clock in the evening. Just wanted to give you a little quick update. Unfortunately, we got some really bad news that our lead product designer for one of our favorite e-commerce clients just got rejected. And the crazy thing is everything was going really well. Every single round, I got nothing but positive feedback, but for some reason, last round got a lot of mixed reviews, and it to the point where it was just overwhelming, and it tipped the scales, unfortunately, not to her favor. The sad thing is this would have been such a smooth and easy close. She wasn't interviewing anywhere else. She loved the company. Her ask was a little bit high, which was a little bit of a red flag for the company. So I think putting her ask with the other team members' negative feedback, other members having other concerns, just altogether was just enough to kind of make them reject her, unfortunately, which is kind of shocking because I thought that, this was gonna happen and we were kind of expecting a smooth close this week to finish off September. She loves the company, and I just thought it was a match made in heaven and everything was going really well. And you just honestly never know what could happen. And usually when stuff like this happens, one of the other benefits of working with recruiters is we can find ways to re-engage or keep our candidates alive. But it seems like the decision that they made is official, and there's really nothing we can do about it. Even if we get the candidate to be more flexible on her salary or anything, it seems like something really happened in that conversation that opened a lot of people's eyes, not in the best of ways. I wasn't able to get real feedback, but this is not the news I want to get on a Thursday evening. But a silver lining is that, as I told you, we just picked up a product manager role earlier with one of our fintech clients. They're open to talking to senior and lead folks as well. So after I spoke to them, I re-engaged the same candidate and pitched her this role. And she said that she was excited and now they want to interview her. So she got rejected, unfortunately, from this one, but I was able to at least present her with another opportunity she's hopefully as excited about. So hopefully that goes well too. But such a bummer. I wish this turned out the other way around. It would have been a great deal, and it would have been my second deal with this company this month. But gotta take the hits and gotta learn from it. For some reason, this week has been incredibly stressful, and I'm feeling very exhausted. So I don't think I'm gonna be doing really that much more work tonight. I mean, it's already 7. Gonna plan on cooking a nice food and dinner at home, and then looking to kind of at least do what I can to finish off the week strong. I did a really good sourcing pushes on product analysts, product managers, even engineering managers and directors. So really happy with the sourcing goals that we're hitting, as well as all the great candidates we're talking to and all the great interviews that are happening so far. So 3 interviews today. All 3 of them seem to have gone really well. So again, not the best news. Gonna sleep it off, and we'll see you tomorrow bright and early. Hey guys, and happy Friday. It is almost 2 p.m. here, midday on Friday, and so far the morning's going very well. We've had about 5 interviews. We actually have 2 more happening right now and another 4 more happening a little bit later today. In total, we've had about 10 candidate calls, talking to some really amazing professionals. A lot of them we submitted immediately. And as you know, I love making the extra effort to finish Friday off strong, because if you do that, not only will you come into next week with momentum, but the weekend will feel that much better. As you saw, guys, I try my best to show you what I've done every single week, and for some reason, I just felt super challenged this week, having to manage so many different things that's happening at the same time, a lot of late nights, and I'm really feeling it. So I have 4 more interviews later today, 3 more calls, but I just want to come here and just wrap up the day and wrap up the week with you. It's been an incredible week. It's been a jam-packed month as well. And just looking over the numbers right now, it's absolutely insane. So in total, we've done about 3 offers. I was hoping to do a little bit more this week with some engineers, but because of the situation we have to battle with all week, as you saw, I don't think that's gonna happen. Maybe we can focus on that next week or 2. But we did 3 completed offers this month. The first was a marketing manager position. The salary was $90,000 with our 18% fee commission percentage, and our total commission taking home is $16,200 for that job. Second one was a software engineer position. was $165,000 for a salary with a 20% agreed fee percentage, and our take home is $33,000. Our third and final, and my personal record, CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, able to get this done together. The salary was $250,000 with an 18% fee percentage, and our total commission came out to $45,000, making our entire month commission turns out to be $94,000. But if you've known, for the software engineering, we're actually splitting that commission with one of our recruiting partners who actually did the initial outreach with this candidate. So including that to the total, our net for this month is $77,500. While this is absolutely insane, and while it may sound insane for you to hear this, I want to really re-emphasize that if you really work hard, provide good value over time, anything can happen. It doesn't matter if you're in recruiting, whatever industry you're in, whatever job you're in, if you can just stay focused and never give up and just keep showing up and doing the best that you can, your results will compound to something exponential. This is not something that happened overnight for me. There are many years where I struggled a lot. There are even many months where I made nothing. With my experience, with my positive attitude and never give up and just showing up no matter how hard it is and no matter not knowing what the future entails, just by doing that, things start snowballing. And this is the effect of what you could do as a recruiter working for yourself, or really with any business. You can apply the same fundamental work ethic, the fundamental attitude to really find success in anything that you do. And it's just still insane to me that we've made as much as we've done. I honestly would have been just happy with one deal per month. But this is just absolutely crazy. And I'm utterly speechless, because if you've been following with me a little bit, you know, last year, I didn't even know if my business would survive. And then even before that, as I alluded to earlier, I had many months that I was very challenged. There are many times where I felt burned out over the past 6 years. I think I had 2 or 3 really bad cases, and I asked myself, like, is this worth it? Am I gonna be able to continue doing this for much longer? But as you get older, while making money is great, the main focus is how do you find ways to keep doing it, be productive, but also staying healthy and sane, which is my focus. It also really helps making these videos, because whether you're working for yourself or even running a small business, sometimes it's tough work and sometimes it can be lonely. So it's really cool to be able to go through my week every single week with you, and I really appreciate the kind words. Biggest takeaway, guys, anything can happen. Just stay focused. Don't be distracted with working on 10 different things. Focus on one, become a master at one thing, and then go all in. And never give up, show up every day, stay consistent, and you can make freaking amazing results. Other than that, I think, you know, we have our engineering positions I have to deal with this week. Some of them are looking pretty good. We'll see what happens. We also have a product designer that I was able to save, repitched her a fintech company. That's going well. They're gonna have a first round phone call next week, and a couple other product manager roles that we're gonna do our best to move forward. But yeah, just super tired, but really grateful that, you know, we were able to really find a productive September, especially coming out of summer, which is typically very slow. But now more pumped and laser focused than ever to finish October, to finish 2021 off really well. If you really enjoy this and want to see more, want to see other aspects of recruiting, please comment down below. Also, don't forget that you can now apply to our jobs real time in the description box below. We're recruiting for so many different positions, and not just that, if you might know of anyone else who might be interested, we have an insane referral program where we would pay up to $10,000 for introduction for the right person. But I hope you had a great Friday. I hope you had a great week, a great September. If you guys also killed it and killed your goals, comment down below. We'd love to hear it. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, click that bell. Really means a lot, and will give all of us the energy to keep at it, stay focused, stay positive, and continue to provide the best value that we can. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm about to finish up my calls and finish up some emails here, and definitely enjoy and decompress for the weekend. Sometimes working is fun, it's fulfilling, but it's also very hard work, and you really have to have time for yourself to decompress and recharge. But thanks again, appreciate it. We'll see you on the next one.